Why is the Google rep calling about my Google Ads account? Hi, my name is Carl with Agent Branding and Marketing. And if you have not scheduled a strategy session with us, be sure and do that. We'd love to look over what you're doing and make any recommendations that can help you build your agency faster. Anyway, you may have gotten calls and emails just like this one from Google wanting to help you with your Google Ads account. And this is going to be the case if you are running any Google Ads or you have previously. And there's a couple of things I want to point out to you about this contact, and then we'll talk about why you're getting these emails and these calls. When you first look at this email, Krishna's email is coming from a Google address. However, if you look down the email, what you'll see here is it says third-party partners. What that means is that Krishna doesn't actually work for Google. Krishna works for a third-party vendor and is making calls on behalf of Google. And this is where we want to talk about the bigger picture. You have to remember that Google is in the business of making money. And Google wants to make sure that you as an advertiser are spending more money than you currently are now. That's their objective, and that's what these calls are for. Let me give you a little side note on this. Facebook is actually doing the same thing with their ads platform. So when you jump on these calls, what that rep is going to do is they're going to go through some optimization recommendations. You can see those recommendations on your Google Ads account at any time. Now, some of those recommendations might make sense. Google is always introducing new features with their automation and their artificial intelligence that can really benefit you, the advertiser, if you know what you're doing and if you understand what those changes and updates are going to do to your advertising account. So let me explain to you what the real focus is these days. Google is building their ad platform to really utilize artificial intelligence so that they can use that algorithm to help find the best combinations of ad copy, the best headlines, things like that. Those are great. Adding extensions to ads so there are more things that draw the eye and draw the response. Those things are great. But most of the platform is built around conversion. And the idea behind conversion really is from an e-commerce standpoint. What that platform is really being molded to is to where I could track a sales process all the way from first click to the time the cash register rings and we say thank you. That works great in e-commerce. If I were selling tennis shoes through a website, that is perfect. However, for you as an insurance agent, it works a little different. If you're a captive insurance agent, your first big problem is your company is not going to allow you to add a Google tracking pixel to their website. They're going to have their own tracking pixel that they use for their corporate advertising. So right there, you're somewhat dead in the water. The second piece of this is your business isn't always completed through an online process. Oftentimes what happens is that phone call is generated or that lead form is filled out, and from there it becomes an offline sales process, an offline process of pre-qualifying that customer, of writing out that proposal, of landing that business and binding the policy. And so those are the things that you have to keep in mind when you're talking about the optimizations that they want to recommend to you. I always like to give this horror story. I have a client in the Atlanta area who decided to go ahead and let the Google rep make whatever adjustments they were recommending. What they found on their next bill is that their bill had tripled and they had only received one more phone call and 12 more clicks. And when I say it had tripled, the increase was well over $1,000. So I always recommend that take notes if you want to have these calls, write down the recommendations that are being made, but then visit with the person who is really managing your paid ads to make sure those things make sense. Here at Agent Branding and Marketing, we actually go through our ad accounts on a monthly basis and we look at the recommendations that Google is making, because Google is introducing new functions, new features, things that can really enhance a paid advertising campaign. And we'll evaluate, do those things make sense based on who you are and who your business really is. That's the real issue with these Google calls. That rep understands Google. They understand where the knobs and the buttons are, and if you push this button, what happens? What they don't understand is your insurance agency. They don't understand your community. They don't understand your customers. They don't understand your goals that you're trying to meet for the year. Those are things they don't understand. And so when you're dealing with paid ads, it's more than being a technician. And these calls are from technicians. They're people that know how to turn dials and push buttons and make things happen. The drawback is they don't know how to make that happen in sync with your objectives and your business and your compliance department and all of those other things that really come into play. So these are just a few thoughts for you today. I hope you'll schedule a strategy session with us in the days ahead, and we look forward to talking with you soon.